on the cell phone.
Man, I ain't even kidding. A little different than it is at home for me, too.
Can you hear us, Larry?
Yeah.
Hear y'all good?
Nice.
All right. We are live from the 2023 PRI Show. I am Ben Knight here with my co-host, Mr. 43X, Dustin Lee. We are Red Hill Racing Podcast, and we are honored to have two of our good friends and two motorcycle legends with us. We got Larry Spiderman McBride, a top fuel legend. I mean, everybody in drag racing knows him. It's not even just motorcycles. And then we have Mr. Gaige Herrera, your 2023 NHRA Pro Stock Motorcycle Champion. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Glad to be here, Ben.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's, who wants to start? Should we start with the current champ or our legendary brother, Mr. McBride? Nobody speak up? Gaige.
We'll let Larry go first.
Larry, let the legend. He didn't even say elder, Larry.
That's a good thing.
Despite the short jokes that we just had before recording. Larry, man, you've been doing this for how many years?
45 years.
45 years, okay.
It's longer than I've been alive.
Yes. Yeah, I think all three of us flanking you, that's a little bit longer than we've been alive. That's good. So what's new for 2024 with Spiderman?
Well, we've got a lot of great things working. We just finalized all the stuff with NHRA yesterday. We're going to do 4 events, starting out in Chicago, Brainerd, Dinwiddie, and Charlotte, the second Charlotte race. So we've got a lot of great things going, and hopefully, we'll finish everything up today on the World Series of Pro Mod in February.
Okay.
Down in Florida.
That needed to happen. You need to be at NHRA. That's where you belong.
Well, we appreciate it. I tell you, it's been a long, hard working.
You fought really hard to get that. Yeah.
Everything was, was really good until the pandemic. We had everything pretty well solved.
It was going to happen. Yep.
And then we basically, the last 2 years, we basically run with them basically for free.
Yeah.
You spend it out of your own
You
pocket.
spent your money to get there, right?
And that just goes to show you, hard work, you will prevail.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. So what's do you even know what the format's going to be? Or is it going to be 4 bikes, 8 bikes? Do you know that yet?
Right
Can you share
now,
details?
Right, yeah, we can share some details. We got Jaska coming over here.
Okay.
From Finland.
Yeah.
His son's 21 years old. We actually going to get a young man in our class finally at 21.
Shoo, he's got a lot to learn behind y'all legends, man.
Well, we was going to try to get Dustin in here. We couldn't get a bike quite big enough.
I don't think I can reach the pegs, man.
He said, man, I can't sit on that little narrow seat.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I got so much respect because I'm not riding anything that I have to wear a bulletproof vest to ride. I'm out, brother. You know what I'm saying? So you go ahead and do your thing. You got them big kahunas. You got this.
Yeah, we're just really excited about what's going on with having him come over. He's actually bringing 3 bikes.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So
he might be able to double up the field if he does
well,
that.
they told me some stuff yesterday. I don't know if they wanted me to say it, but I'm going to say it. They shouldn't have told me. They didn't tell me not to say it. But,
Ask for forgiveness.
but Mitch Brown is actually going to ride one of Jaska's bikes.
Woo! Awesome.
So did you say, did you finalize, is it supposed to be like a 4-bike field or 8?
Well, right now, if we get 8 bikes, we'll run 8 bikes.
Wow. Okay.
If we get 6 bikes, we're going to run 4 bikes.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So
I would love to see 8. I'm not going to lie. That'd be awesome.
I think right now, as the count is right now, we've got 7 confirmed bikes.
Man, you're close. You got this.
So we got Chris Hand that is looking into some things. I don't believe Chris will be riding. He's looking at some another rider, and if he brings him in, that'll be great. We'll have our 8 bikes.
Spencer Claycomb. He's tall enough. Put him on it.
Yeah. Get him. He would do a good job.
I think he's the right built body for that deal.
There's no question about it. So it's just going to be it's a lot going on, but it's great, and we've worked really hard to do this. And the only reason we want to go to the NHRA is just to showcase it, right?
Oh, for sure.
That's going to be the biggest showcase. We want to still support our motorcycle people.
Oh, of course.
But this deal is what we need for Top Fuel to get it out there, get it seen, and get more people. We got to get more younger people into our sport.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, I mean, you got a 21-year-old, but I can't, and this don't want it to sound bad. You know, you're our boy, you're our brother, we love you, but you're right. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Everybody I know that rides a Top Fuel motorcycle is older.
You know why?
Well,
They're that tough generation that
Well, yeah.
wakes up and cracks their neck and like,
They're the only ones big enough. Tell everybody that might not be familiar, Larry, what your best speed in ET in a quarter mile is. Because there might be some people that don't know you. I don't know who that is, but
well, my best speed's 268, and the ET's 550.
unbelievable.
And I did that when I was 65 years old. So it's I'll be 66 next month. So it's and I'm still in pretty good shape. I love what I do, and I love the sport. And people say, "Man, you're crazy." You know, you're really not. You know, it's
no big deal to you. You've
it's-
done it so much that it's not that big of a deal.
right. And I kind of got shot down a little bit yesterday because I'm a quarter mile guy, and everybody else wants to run 1,000 foot.
Well,
So, I'm the type of guy I'm pretty easy to get along with, so I'm going with the majority. It's going to save us. It's
Yeah.
definitely going to save us a lot on parts.
hey, it's
that's
fuel
what
too.
I was going to say. Like,
And it might get some people more interested in
Stopping will be easier. There's a lot of good things about
it. Well,
that.
it's, like Jaska said yesterday, he says, running 270, something happened, you're going to, it's going to be Travis-Scott, however you say that word.
a tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be very bad,
Catastrophic.
right? Travis-Scott, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
So you're talking to a hillbilly and a redneck. We're no
Right.
help on the
No,
words.
no, absolutely not.
Probably
Well,
need to
I'm
take a grammar class, I
I'm
guess.
pretty hillbilly and
Yeah,
redneck.
That's why we love you, brother.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Alabama, so you're going to be a redneck, okay?
See the quiet little guy over there. We're not sure on him, so we can't be sure on
Hollywood.
There's only two words for him. Badass.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, that's awesome, Larry. We're super pumped to hear that news and to really keep things going. Like you said, seeing some new blood. So we're definitely looking forward to following that. That's great. I mean, that's like you said, that's what the sport needs. So.
Oh, absolutely. And going back to what Jaska said, I said, but you're going to be running 250 and 1,000 foot.
Yeah.
So really,
Yeah.
it's going to not be good either way if something happens, okay?
Yeah.
I don't care if you're running 200, it's not good.
It's not playing golf.
No, you don't. No. So it's, but we are going to be running 1,000 foot, which, like I say, it's going to save a lot of money on parts. That last 320 feet, it's really where Top Fuel eats up a lot of motors.
For sure. Yeah, like you said, they get off. I mean, I've had the, I don't know what you call it, the unfortunate experience of, falling off the bike at 160, which, that's fast, right? But it wasn't, I barely broke a hand in my bone. I didn't even know. I didn't go to the doctor for 3 weeks.
It wasn't
but
260.
When I went land speed racing this one time, and I was telling Bert about this the other day, like 227, and then there was another day left of the event, and I slept on it. I was like, almost 230. I think I'm good with that. It gets your mind racing. But you've been doing this for a while, so.
Talking about coming off, I came off in March the 1st, 1992 at 205 at Gainesville, Florida. And back in them days, I made Nadia Comaneci look really bad. She was
You probably had pajamas on for leathers. You probably didn't have good leathers on
Well,
back then.
we had decent leathers
Okay.
back then. Yeah, I was always doubling my stuff up back then anyway.
Well, them older cows were probably thicker skinned than the new ones anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. Exactly. Well, the new ones are raised in China.
Yeah. Oh, it took me a minute to get that. I was like, oh.
Sorry, I missed that. I think our actual YouTube, Facebook isn't streaming very well.
Oh, okay.
A little spotty, or you can't hear it.
The volume.
Can't hear it.
Okay.
Well, let's see here. Can we fix this? I don't know. How about now? Who knows? All right. Well, we'll worry about that later. Sorry to all the Facebook live viewers. We'll re-air this next week. We're doing our best, but hey, we're at the PRI show. They have this Paddocks and podcast. It's a great setup. Dustin and I have to rethink our gear because they provided us with this awesome opportunity and setup. Gaige, what's going to happen next year? What's the plans? Just keep dominating, kicking everybody's. We'll try and keep it PG booty.
I mean, that's always a plan, right? We'll go out there and try, whoop up on all of them again. But I feel next year is going to be a lot of competition. There's a lot of new people coming out. There's a lot of people, redoing their whole racing program, basically to try to beat us. We got a big target on our back, and I'm excited for it. I had an awesome season. It's one that'll be hard to repeat. And like I told Andrew, at this point, I can just retire and be happy.
Retire on top, baby.
Do you know all the stats, with the wins, the number one qualifiers off the? I know you do. So
I
you don't have to be humble. Tell everybody, because I kind of have a rough idea. But how many number one qualifiers this year?
14 out of 15 races.
Wow.
Number one qualifiers, 11 wins out of 15, and then got the national ET record at 662. And I want to say all but one track where we broke the track record every race. So
That's how you kick everybody's teeth in. That's what that is.
Larry, you've been around for a while. Does that sound like one of the most dominating seasons that you've heard of?
No, it is the most dominating season. No question. I tell you, as y'all know, I'm a big fan of Vance and Hines. They've been with me since 1985, and I've been watching Pro Stock, pretty much all my racing career, and to see what Gaige did this year, oh my God! And it's just incredible where he come from Pro Street, running XDA to the big screen, and it didn't even bother him. I mean, he just went out there and did his job. Last year he was impressive on a bike that didn't have no horsepower.
Right.
And that means he couldn't get the Rookie of the Year this year, but we know that he was still a rookie. He didn't have a ton of time.
Yeah.
So
right.
in my book, he is the Rookie of the Year, and he is the champion. I mean, he's just one bad dude, and he's a machine, and that's what you got to be in Pro Stock. Pro Stock, where my bike, I can get away with moving around a little bit. These guys can't move their leg. I can't move their knee. They can't move anything. They'll lose 100, 200, 300, just a blink of an eye. And where he goes out there,
makes it look too easy.
What do you make one mistake this
After
year?
watching Gaige, I think I could do it.
Maybe two mistakes. So he made two mistakes. So I make that in an hour.
Yeah.
Well, watching you, all over the bike going down the track, that is a sight to be seen in and of itself.
That's where the Spiderman comes from.
Spiderman, right? That is where that came from, right?
You're
Just all over the bike.
1980 Indianapolis U.S. Nationals, back when we was a class with NHRA, an announcer, the way I rode, he started calling me Spiderman, and it kind of just stuck with me. And it's been a great nickname. With the kids is just awesome, man. I have so much fun with
not
kids.
Not just the kids. My wife out there loves you.
We love her too. You kind of got me.
I did
when
get
got
you yesterday.
Yeah, you did come up and knocked on my shoulder.
I tapped on his shoulder,
around.
and he turned around. There she was.
Yeah, I went, wow, I got girls knocking on my shoulder. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How do I know her?
Yeah. I want to know her.
You won't forget now.
No, I won't never forget that now, no.
Yeah, for sure.
But back to Gaige, if you know Gaige, if you've ever talked to Gaige, in person, he's as calm and cool as he is on that motorcycle.
Yeah.
He's just acting natural.
Well,
it's
Larry
that easy
pointed
for him.
out, coming from XDA and Gaige, let everybody know, me and Dustin speculate. You've been, you can't even tell us how fast you've been on grudge bikes because, Gaige has been big into the
G19
grudge scene.
classified.
Right. Not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah. But we know how fast you've been on your Pro Street bike, which is tell them what that.
On my Pro Street bike, I've been 645 at 210.
Yeah. So faster than the Pro Stock bike.
Faster than the Pro Stock bike, and no wheelie bar, street tire, nitrous. Try not to be on fire like our buddy Spencer all the time.
Yeah. Singeing beard hairs.
And Larry knows a little bit about fire too.
Larry knows a lot about fire.
Yeah, I tell you, that's a funny story though. Yeah. I mean, what happened there?
At the moment, it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. Well, it was kind of funny at top end when the fire people run by and put the bike out and they left me on fire.
Yeah. Well, no.
How about putting a brother out? Right?
Yeah. So the question is, Gaige, how much? Because obviously we speculate. How much do you think that played in not only the speed, because in essence you were kind of slowing up, but then the amount of money and grudge racing you've done, just cool as a cucumber. I mean, it didn't really phase you going to that. I mean, that's what outsiders looking in were like, well, of course he did well. Like, what are you going to do? He's not nervous. Yeah. He's raced for a lot more money. He's went a lot faster. So do you think that played a good part of just everything being slower?
I think so. I mean, to me, it's a lot less pressure. I mean, honestly, you're on the big screen in front of all the crowd and all that. I mean, that's a different kind of pressure.
Right.
As far as, but not in the racing aspect. I feel like when you're up there racing for, you know, X amount of dollars, 20,000, whatever, like next week I'm in a shootout thing for 90,000. So it's like, you know, when you're up there and there's that kind of money on the line, or the guy that, like, the bike I ride, I don't own it, but the grudge bike, and, you know, the owner's putting up all this money. He's like, yeah, I got this much money, and then that's in the back of your mind, you know, on those kind of bikes. So there's definitely more pressure there because there's more to lose. You're not just losing a round or losing a couple points, you know. So I think I feel going to pro stock, you know, you just focus on racing, riding, and there's less stress. And I feel like, you know, I was very comfortable in that whole aspect, especially with Andrew and Ed. You know, Andrew, I think, helped me out the most, you know, as far as even with all the PR stuff and all that. He's like, that's going to be the worst part of the whole year.
And it's true. That was your worst part of the whole year.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Hey, man, but you've got a lot of practice this year, so it's come a long way.
The very first day at Gainesville was probably the worst.
Yeah.
I had 6 hours of PR stuff with Mission, NHRA, this and that. I'm like, I got back to the chair. I said, I don't know if I want to do this.
Then you rode the bike, and it was a good weekend. Okay, I'll do it, I guess.
Right.
well, it obviously showed off with the 14 number one qualifiers, 10 or 11 race wins, the championship. But yeah, we just were kind of curious for that. And for those of y'all that missed that little tidbit, because, you know, he just slid it in, you know, racing for $20,000 on one pass. You don't hear about that a lot. Racing in a shootout next weekend for $90,000. Like, that's why Gaige was able to channel, you know, and be so cool and calm on, you know, on TV running in front of tens of thousands of people, because, you know, you don't want to be at the end of the track knowing that the bike you're riding just lost $20,000 in less than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So
one big thing I think about Pro Stock Bike is all your decisions as a rider has to be like early. Like, you make a decision, you got to be smooth and fluid, make it early, because the grudge stuff, you get lots of surprises. You got to handle it as it comes. You might have to do a sudden move with your body to keep it where you want, where if you do that on a pro stock bike, it's going to mess it up.
Oh, for sure.
You got to be smooth the whole time.
And I think that's what helped me coming from the no-bar scene, going to, you know, the pro stock motorcycle, is on the no-bar bikes, especially, you know, the pro street, grudge bikes, even real street, you got to be ahead of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
If you're ever behind it, you're basically going to, you know,
and it's way easier to stay ahead of something that's slower than what you usually ride.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that helped you a lot.
yeah, okay. So I got a random question for both of you. Larry, is there something, it doesn't have to be a bike, that you've always wanted to race? Another class, a different vehicle?
You know, really, I'm really a bike guy. I've really had no other sport that I've really ever.
Well, if you're a bike guy, then I'm pretty sure there's nothing.
There ain't nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I started to work at the dealership when I was 15 years old at the Honda dealership.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really know anything different. You know, I run motocross, and you know, then I started into dirt drags, and then I went, you know, carried it on, and I think what keeps me in it is the people. You know, people like yourself and Dustin, and this guy that, you know, Gaige comes along and is such a humble person. He's so approachable. I think that's what makes him so good. I mean,
not to brag on us, but motorcycle people is a special breed, man.
Absolutely.
We really are.
We're definitely special.
We can go race each other and hang out and be best friends afterwards. You know, it's no big deal because we just got that kind of love. You know what I mean?
And that's what it's all about, you know.
We preach this here a lot. Like, you got to have fun, be with your friends. That's number one. The racing is just something we do while we're there.
You know, and I try to tell everybody this, you know, I try to get along with everybody in the pits. They're great. But when you come up and you're on your next over in the starting, you know, I'm going to give you the other lane. That's it. Same thing Gaige has done.
It's showtime.
He just kept beating Eddie up. I was going, man.
I couldn't let him have it.
Yeah. I know. And people.
He's going to have to take it, right?
Well, you know, it's so funny. You had people, you know, if you're looking on the Facebook, you know, post and everything. Yeah, they're gonna let him let Eddie win his stuff.
That's that way.
Me and my brother say, no way Gaige Herrera is going to let that happen. He is not going to do it in his. You know,
and
no
Ed
way.
didn't want it like that.
No, Eddie didn't want it, and
that's real man stuff right there.
You know, and then Gaige said, I'm gonna just beat him up as far as I can.
That's
I mean,
right.
so it was it was an awesome deal, and
1
I
and
think
2,
it's a great,
baby. That's awesome.
Well, you know, it's a great organization to be with, Vance and Hines.
Oh man,
I mean,
good people.
When you got Byron Hines on your side, as we know, Byron is the world's best motorcycle engine builder that's ever been. Okay.
For sure. They do my cylinder heads.
Yep. He's proved it on every manufacturer. He won a race on a FJ 1200 Yamaha.
Which are terrible.
The worst you can get, the worst head design you could ever
They're
get.
terrible.
And everything else, they won with Kawasaki, they won with Honda, they won with Suzuki.
He's a living legend.
They dominated with the Harleys. Now he's come a full circle right back to Suzuki.
Where it all started.
I'll
tell you one thing, they ain't none of them sound as good as Suzuki does.
No.
None of them.
No.
Them things zinged up going down through our plug-in gears. I feel like I'm 9 years old again. It's awesome.
You still, you're 10, right?
I got to add a few years to it. I'm a lot more fluffy than I used to be.
Oh, okay.
Larry,
I can't tell.
I told you before this, Larry. I'm pretty sure I have more gray hair than you.
Yeah.
Well, I just cut mine shorter.
Yeah.
I try and shave my beard off every chance I get. And, my better half, Tiffany, she says, well, you look handsome with the beard. She said, you look like a kid without it. I said, that's the point. I don't look so old.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Gaige, is there anything, we know, Dustin and I, Larry might not know, but we know you've raced some car stuff coming through. Is there any class, anything 2 wheels forward that you just is always on a bucket list?
Honestly, funny car's always been on my bucket list.
Really?
I just want a license in one time.
You're nuts.
Just to try it out.
You're nuts.
I want to basically sit behind the bomb and see what happens.
Yeah, that sounds like something Spencer would want to do.
I mean, we are nitrous guys.
Yeah, I
so
know.
there's
Fire
something wrong
don't
with
scare y'all.
us. No.
So funny car, that would be it.
Yeah.
Holy
If I was to try something else, I would do that. The top fuel bikes and all that, I think I'm too little for it. And like Dustin said, you only got to wear a bulletproof vest and all that. I don't know.
I'm out.
Especially not the Harleys.
No,
well,
they blow up, not down.
exactly.
Thankfully, Larry's bike blows down, not up.
Except in Atco in 2015,
Yeah.
it did blow up.
The
And
fire went up. But it wrecked everything in that deal.
Like Rodney Williford said, toasted marshmallows.
Yeah.
I got a free helicopter ride.
Oh, I know. We were there. Worried to death.
You give us the thumbs up when they were loading you up.
Well,
we knew it was gonna be all right.
The whole funny story about that was when they told me they had to fly me to the hospital. I said, no, I can ride an ambulance. I'm good. No, you have to fly in this helicopter. And I said, y'all are not understanding. I have Obamacare.
I can't afford this.
And they said, in the state of New Jersey, it don't cost anything for the helicopter.
Let's go.
I said, let's do it.
Yeah. You got any cookies and milk?
Yeah. Yeah. So I get to the hospital and they throw me out of hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, you were back pretty quick.
I had 3rd-degree burns, and they put on my release papers, no insurance. I wondered why they let me go home.
Well, at least you got a free flight.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny. It's Reggie Showers got me,
Oh, yeah.
So that was awesome. It was an awesome ride back to the deal. The next day, I drove my tractor trailer back 6 hours.
With bandages all over you.
I took the bandages off.
Oh, did you? Let it get some air.
Yeah,
Make it crust up and hurt worse.
Yeah, well, I get back to my shop. I text a friend of mine that's a trauma surgeon. And I text him this picture of my leg. He's, meet me at my office right now, Larry. That's 3rd-degree burns. So we met him. 2 days later, he had me in the hospital. Excuse me. The next morning at 7 o'clock, he had me in the hospital scraping this stuff.
Oh.
And then
that probably hurt, but you got a really good friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good friend to have.
And then 2 days later, get out. He sends me home. They scrape everything. Then 2 weeks later, they put me back in, and he did a skin graft. He don't normally do skin grafts. He said, I'm not going to send you over here to the burn hospital. He said, I can do this stuff.
Wow, yeah.
So he had to order the stuff in, and they did all the skin grafts, and that was worse than the burn.
Oh, I bet. No doubt.
But, it was definitely an experience that I don't want to ever go through again.
For sure.
But that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. That I created that. It wasn't a racetrack. It wasn't nothing. It was Larry
You were wanting
McBride
it too bad. Sometimes we do that. We over-race things.
Well, and trying to put on a show for the crowd. You go out and then you smoke the tire.
Oh, you did. You put on a show.
I did.
Unfortunately, crowds like stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
So you give them exactly what they wanted to see.
Yeah, so it was quite an experience. But
it's like Gaige on the Pro Street or the Grudge Box. When that thing yanks the tire up at 8th mile and it's out of control, they eat that stuff right up.
Oh, I know.
So it worked out. I mean, that's what people want to see. And like you going to NHRA is where you need to be. The flames coming out behind you, that's where you need to be. They need to see that stuff. God forbid something like that happens again.
Yeah. Well, you're It's safer on that motorcycle than driving down 95. I can guarantee you that.
There's no cell phones in people's hands.
That's
on the road.
exactly right.
I just recently tried to get life insurance, and I was just filling it out like it says. Like, do you do anything motorsports? Yeah, and it's like, but I don't. I kept telling them, I was like, I don't want the coverage. I'm more worried about literally driving down the road.
Yeah.
It's like that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's,
All it takes
I feel
is-
safe racing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I do too.
We're in control, right? That's why we do feel safe. Like,
Yeah.
you're out of control of the fact that someone could just bulldoze you on the interstate on your Harley or whatever.
Well,
Going to and from the track to me scares me more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I always say this: it's usually not the motorcyclist; it's the car drivers.
Yeah.
You know, for years I taught the safety course out at Langley Air Force Base.
Okay. Yeah.
And unfortunately, we've seen a lot of military people lose their lives on street bikes. Yeah. And most of the time, I ain't gonna say we don't have some guys on the street that we know we do that create their own issues.
Yeah.
But we got a lot that don't create their issues. And you have to ride anymore. When I'm riding a street bike, I'm usually looking behind me more than I am in front of me because I don't know who's going to run over me. And then you're almost afraid. You stop at the red light and you notice this in your car, and everybody's on their cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. There's times
I'm
late at night going
guilty.
home, I pull it out. I'm
guilty.
trying to just keep myself awake, you know.
Oh, I'm absolutely guilty. I think we all are.
The one thing that wakes you up more than anything is if you're driving an RV with a trailer behind it and you hit the rumble strips. Oh, Lord, put that down. I don't need that no more.
well, I'm going to tell you something even worse than that. I got a new truck here about a year ago, and it's got what it keeps you in the lanes,
The
right?
lane
Oh, that's
assist,
nice.
Yeah. So we're just going to Florida the other day, me and my brother, and driving down the road, and a little tired, getting ready to pull over, and that thing kind of got a little too close, and it kind of pulls back itself.
It drives itself.
Well, then you jerk it back.
Then you're all over the road.
Oh, hell yeah.
React.
Both hands, man. Oh yeah. It got my attention, I can tell you that.
That's a dangerous option because I would flirt with the fact of laying back and not holding the steering wheel and let it just do it for me, Be risky.
Oh yeah. And this truck will tell you, keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, it'll like vibrate the steering wheel and beep at you.
Oh yeah.
Her car does that.
That's scary for
Yeah.
sure. Gage, when will y'all start testing?
Basically, we're not gonna test. We're gonna test
Okay.
the Wednesday before Gainesville, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean,
They got Gaige, man. We're good.
You're gonna let everybody else catch up? Let them do the hard off-season
No.
testing?
I mean, we're not gonna let them catch up.
Yeah.
They're gonna try. But yeah, I mean, when I was at the shop, a couple days ago, my bike's still sitting there ready to go. They haven't even touched it. So, Andrew says there's no plan to change nothing. Freshen it up, and we're just gonna go back out there and keep doing what we're doing.
You just pat her on the back. That'll do, pig.
That's it.
We're good to
Yeah,
go.
She's good. She's ready.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've all heard that before. Don't mess with something that ain't broke, right?
No, exactly. I mean, they got a lot of big things going on in the shop. They're trying to help grow the class, which is what the class needs. Every class always needs that. Bring new talent in, and there's a lot of good things in the works. They're going to try to do rental bikes and so on and so forth, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good season.
A lot of new CNC machines going in.
Oh yeah, a lot of new CNC machines.
So they can do your heads, Dustin.
That's right. Bring it on. I'm sending one next week.
Yeah.
Well, they just got another head machine, another
nice.
Centroid.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's here in the show right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be sending them my head to service and probably another one to do for a spare. So they'll be putting them babies to work.
Yeah.
Good deal. So, Gage, after the season you had, how do you even set goals?
Win them all.
Did you have any goals before the season started?
My goal is to finish top 3.
Okay,
Honestly.
so
and
check mark.
to win one race. And when we were in Gainesville,
Check mark.
My dad's like, now what? After we won the first race, he's like, you got that done. He's like, now what? I'm like, I guess we just keep doing it. Keep trying, right? And,
I mean, it's going to be hard to top this season.
oh, it's going to
no
be very
doubt.
hard. It's going to be very hard. It was definitely a unique season. It's one I always, look back on. And
Yeah.
It's always going to be at the top.
The smartest thing for you to do is not expect that to happen again.
Oh, you can't.
Just race your race. That's all you can
Yeah,
do.
that's all it is. I mean, all you guys know, drag racing is probably it's a gamble. Every race,
man.
every round. You never know what's going to happen. You can never take anything for granted. At any moment, something could break, something could happen. I mean, it's part of racing. I think that's what keeps us going.
That's what keeps us hungry because the little things cost us a win, and then you got to go back and try again, and before you know it, it's just a vicious cycle that never ends.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's addicting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all your championships, and I've seen a couple races in a row where you had, bad luck on your side. And,
Oh, yeah. This year I've had a lot of things cause me from winning. That's why you're getting my motorcycle to fix it, because it's not been well.
All right. So, I mean, that's just one of those things that, it makes us all dig down, get hungry and push.
Yeah,
be better.
I don't mind if I make a mistake, but when the motorcycle lets me down, that's the worst.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
like when you run that round and it blow the tire off, that hurt.
Oh, it was,
worse than your red light. You know what I mean? Because you made a mistake. But when you do your job and the equipment fails you, it's the worst. Like right in the heart.
Yep.
It hurts. So I mean, there's always going to be those waves, and if you're on a high one, you ride it out and you enjoy it.
Yep.
When you hit the bottom of the wave and everything sucks, you just got to tough through it, get through the storm and make it through it, and then you'll get back up on the other side.
Well, everything you've done, Dustin, let us ask you, let's flip this around a little bit. What's your goals for next year?
Man, I mean, I have a personal goal of eventually having 50 titles. I have 43. If I can get a couple a season, just chip away at it, one here, one there, I'm cool with it. Like, my biggest focus as for Dustin is to help my customers and be a really good dad and a husband and have fun.
That's a hell of a goal, man.
That's my
I
job.
like that.
Well, I teared up like a little girl when I said it.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that'll do it to you when you start talking about family and how much you love them, and you got to hold them and cherish every moment with them, especially with your kids.
On the racing side of it, I have a good time with my people, racing. But personally, for me, I'm good. Like, I don't need to prove anything else. I enjoy it. I'll never quit until I can't get on the motorcycle. So I go and I like seeing my customers succeed.
Absolutely.
And my friends, even though I still want to kick their teeth in if they're beside me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now let's ask Mr. Knight. What's your goals for next year? You had a great year this year.
I did. I was able to win some races, so that's always good. I feel like we always strive for that because, as you said, you never know what's going to happen. I did set a goal at the beginning of the year to win an XDA championship. I fell short. No shame in that. Raced with the best. Got one of my best friends here at the table doing the podcast with me. So, actually, I guess, you won Top Sportsman, right?
And Pro ET.
So, shit.
And Pro ET, by the way. I mean,
anyways,
don't forget me.
Yeah.
42, 43.
All right, well, y'all can see, So, Dustin reminded me that, the two classes, I was like, well, I got a shot, and I did have a shot going in the last race, but hey.
You did. You had a better shot than I did.
So we know how that ended up. So, fell a little short, good season. My goals, that was the first time in a long time that I'd even made a goal because I'd just been going to races and see what happens. And to be honest, I'll probably do that next year. Just no real racing goals. Dustin and I started this podcast at the beginning of the year with some ideas and goals in mind for it. And then a few months later, we launched our University of Win School, which is meant to help teach and bring together bracket index racers. Because as y'all know, there's a lot of racers, and that's really where the core group of racers are the index and the bracket racers. We're fortunate now even here to have some members here standing around watching, supporting us. But we had a really good reception with that. But if you don't know, you could race for 5-10 years, and if you don't talk to people, meet good people that are good people and know how to race, you're probably having fun, but you're never going to turn on those win lights and keep going. So, Dustin and I were super happy about that. And I'll be honest, Sunday evening, I'm sitting at home after a weekend with the family. I just started my family. There's nothing better right now than for me and Dustin to flip up Facebook and see school members tagging us in wins. So, that's what I'm currently getting satisfaction out of is, we're all competitors. When we put the helmet on, we want to just beat the living, out of whoever's besides. It doesn't matter if it's our best friend or not.
We're harder on each other.
Yeah, you're going to see some real tough. But
and then talk a little trash later, right?
Yeah,
always.
Before and after.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Yeah.
Well, I'm a major sportsman backer. I love the sport. I mean, over the years, me and you've developed a great relationship.
One of my
years.
favorite memories at the racetrack is hanging out with y'all. We might have had some,
adult beverages?
Yeah,
No,
after hours, and we fired up your bike at 4 a.m. at a racetrack, and it was one of my best memories at the racetrack because I was with you and my friends, and we were making a lot of noise. And
Oh,
there was
yeah.
going to be some mad people, but what they going to do?
Well, they wasn't going to come over and say nothing, that's
No,
for sure. And,
no.
You know, Ben, I've known, you know, Ben a little bit longer than I have you, but
Yeah.
he's one of my great friends that we came. It's a family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The drag race, our deal's a family,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. And you know, I don't get to come to the races like I used to with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I still watch you. I still watch your podcast.
You still think about deviled eggs with Boo Brown?
Absolutely. Yeah, and lemon cake.
You're
Oh,
right.
You know, talking about Boo, I was trying to help him last week. His daggum truck broke it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he had to buy a new truck while he was in Florida.
Yeah, he was just talking about buying a new one anyway, so it kind of just pushed him over the edge. So he got a nice one. He got a nice
Yeah,
truck.
we was trying to get him a trailer to get it back. We
Yeah.
ended up putting a deal together to get him a trailer to get it back,
Yeah.
but he elected to go ahead and just leave the truck
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there and do it later, and
Yeah.
just instead of spending.
He made it happen.
Yeah. So it's you know, but that just goes to show you it's all about family, right? You try to help and try to send and try to do. If you've got connection down there, you try to help that person do it.
We are a unique family.
We are. We're not real smart.
I mean, I like y'all better than my real family, some of you, and so.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, well,
Some of you.
yeah, some of you I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that might be the hillbilly.
no doubt.
We're starting a list of taglines for the Red Hill, you know,
Okay.
of shirts. We're gonna get some
Yins.
shirts.
Yins is one of
Yins.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's got to qualify, right?
And
Oh,
yonder.
that has to work. Yes.
So real quick, Gage and Larry, what do you guys think that we need to do to get, you know, we kind of started off in talking about the NHRA with Top Fuel motorcycles coming back and having a young guy. And what do y'all quickly, top level, see? What's the best way to get new people and younger people involved? Because that's what we really need to keep continually doing to keep our great sport alive and going.
Well, you know, the start you got to get them off the tablets and off
Yeah.
the phones and
Yeah.
get them to the and start taking them to the racetrack, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's a real tough question. What do we do? And we need that in our sport right now. We need in drag race. I'm talking about cars, motorcycles,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
We need younger people.
For sure.
I just hired a 17-year-old boy to work with me out of Topeka, Kansas. I met him last year in Topeka when we was up there doing
Yeah.
a show with the NHRA, and I was pretty impressed with what he knew, you know, and he actually knew what a Phillips screwdriver was and a 9/16 wrench, so it was pretty cool. And then when we tore down that night, we noticed how fast he could go up the ladders and down.
Oh, yeah,
you
compared
know,
to y'all.
'Cause you know what, he could be a benefit to this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at that. But
So-
man, I wish I could still do that because I'm younger and I ain't doing that. I don't like heights. I'm out.
So he's gonna be on our team, and
That's awesome.
you know, and he's got some good qualities. You know, he's got some social media qualities, so he can do some stuff there for
Very
us.
nice.
He wants to learn on the motorcycle. He's built a little junior drag bike himself, and of course he's scrapping the deal because the chassis didn't come out just like he wanted it.
Yeah.
And then he found out the other day you don't drill out head gaskets with a drill.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because when it grabs that
It's going
thing,
to tear it or mess it up.
well, it about cut his finger off.
The gasket about cut his
The
finger.
gasket about cut his
We've
finger.
all been there.
So
Yeah.
he
No, I've
learned.
never been there.
He told me, he said, you know how you drill a gasket? You don't drill gaskets.
No, it don't work that way.
No.
You just buy the right one and be done with it.
Get the right
Yeah.
one. He said, well, you know, it was a dowel pin hole. I said, well, you should have set it up in some kind of little mill or something.
You could have went around and kissed it and cleaned it up or whatever. Yeah.
Use a little die grinder or something, you know.
Yeah,
It ain't
for
going to be
sure.
drilled straight anyway, so.
Tell him to call a hillbilly next time.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll just
get
tell him to
right.
call you.
Yeah, I'll get him right. We'll figure it out.
911 hillbilly.
Yeah.
Gage, how? Because I hate even saying this, but I haven't been to an NHRA event as a fan in a while. I still enjoy it, but you know, you were on tour the whole year, so was there a lot of young fans? You signed a lot of autographs. You know, was it a good year? Getting some new blood interested. I mean, all you have to do is go to an event if you've never been, and you're probably hooked.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel, you know, the younger talent like myself, Chase, you know, Ida's now going to Top Fuel. You know, all the new faces I think that are bigger in social media are drawing the younger crowd. I mean, like throughout the season, you know, there's been a good amount of, you know, younger people coming and, you know, saying, oh, I follow you on social media, blah, blah, blah. You know, not even really know drag racing before they came and experienced it. I mean, that's one of the things with drag racing, I feel, is you don't really understand it or experience it on TV.
Oh,
you got
yeah,
to
for
go
sure.
there in person and, you know, feel the horsepower, you know,
Smell it.
experience it, smell it. I mean, that's the best thing I think about drag racing is
The smells.
one ticket is a pit pass.
Yeah,
You know,
for
so
sure.
you
And
get to
all of the
experience so much more.
all the riders and drivers are accessible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
approachable.
exactly.
For
I
sure.
mean, I mean, this guy's the most approachable guy out there, and he's
The champ.
the champ. He's the
champ.
man. I mean, he don't. And he's learning to be better
Trying.
at speaking, so it's awesome. But you know, I've been around and seen him out there, you know, talking with fans, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. That's how you get the new fans in there,
Yeah.
and the people, because these kids will idolize you, and you've got to, you know, show them some love back.
Like we all three idolize you, Larry.
Oh yeah,
No
right,
doubt.
right.
Yeah.
All right,
I
well,
could get my
That's only
wife to
because
look
I'm
at me
old.
like she
That's
does
only
Larry.
because I'm old.
Whatever it is, you're our hero. Well, real quick, we're going to have to wrap this up soon. So, Larry, start with you. Anything you want to say last, or just sponsors you want to thank? You know, we know the Top Fuel program is expensive, so if anybody's looking to jump on board with the man or other people, get in touch with Larry. But real quick, if you want to shout out any
Yeah, I would love
sponsors, go ahead.
to, especially thank Wayne and Donna Pingle from Pingle Enterprise. They've been with me for
Ever.
going on 30 years,
That's
and
awesome.
I've been with Redline Oil also for about 30 years, drag specialties. Just all of my associate sponsors that's with me, right down to the people that give me my sprays and paints and chassis protectors and all of that kind of stuff is, and my friends. I'd like to thank my friends for the support and what you and Dustin are doing right now. I really appreciate what y'all are doing for drag racing and bringing myself and Gaige in here, and to hope that we can keep this podcast going and keep it alive and keep it out there to
Help the sport grow. That's what
help
we're
the
here
sport grow and get more and more people out there. And
No
anytime y'all guys need me, then I can help the Red Hill deal. I'm always right here. I'm always into helping the redneck and hillbilly.
for. That's what friends are for.
For sure. Well, we appreciate that a lot, Larry. Gaige, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thanking the same people all year. You know, Van Science, Mission, Suzuki, and you know, all my friends. You know, the amount of people I have supported me throughout this journey has just been incredible. It's been really overwhelming, really. You know, and I mean, like we've all been saying, you know, we're more than friends. We end up being family. You know, and I think that's the best part about this. That's what, I mean, you said it. When we go to XDA, we're more, you know, excited to go to the, what was it?
Foxy Fish.
Foxy Fish.
Foxy Fish.
Yeah.
We gotta go to the Foxy Fish. You know,
Gotta
we're
go eat
not
dinner
worried about
together.
going to the track.
Bang
We
bang
gotta go-
shrimp.
Yeah, we gotta go hang out. You know, that's
Yeah.
just.
Pick blue crabs for an
So,
hour. Or two.
Yeah.
So, you know, I definitely got to thank, you know, all my friends and family and everything, you know, and, you know, thanks to you guys, you know, for having me here on the show and getting to share a seat with Larry here. You
Yeah.
know, it's very cool.
It's a lot easier than the big show ones with your friends
Well-
just sitting here BSing, right?
Yeah, right?
Well, you guys know because, you know Dustin and I, but, you know, we're very disorganized and last minute, so we're trying our best. We're going to get better, but we can't thank y'all enough for, you know, the short notice. Hey, we're going to do a podcast at the show. Jump on. So, I mean, to have these two guys here, it just really made our show, and, you know, to have this opportunity with PRI, we can't thank them enough. Real quick, I'm going to do my best because Dustin will tell you I don't have my spreadsheets, I don't have my notes with me. Real quick, I'm going to try and shout out our Red Hill sponsors. I'm scared to do it, but I think I can get it.
You got this.
So, real quick, Dustin and I have to thank MPS Racing, MTC Engineering, Dave at Worldwide Bearings, Schnitz Racing, Hard Times Parts and Service, Montgomery Motorsports, Platinum General Services and Ralphie, the University of Wynn, Night Marketing Group, Energy Coil, I said MPS Racing. Did I get them all?
Yeah, you got it.
Kevin at Manchester Mines,
BMF.
and
Did you get BMF?
BMF Motorsports.
That's it.
I think that's it. And one last thing I just thought of, we had to shout out to our buddy Bill Maturo, who his son Alex Maturo just graduated from, it was a Marine graduation
Marine.
yesterday.
He
Paris
is a Marine
Island. He's
now.
now a Marine. He's a young racer. We were talking about the young racers.
Good
His
kid.
dad got him into racing. Good racer. And now he's, you know, representing and serving our country. So shout out to Alex.
Yep.
And, shout out to all our supporters of the podcast. No, I just left one out. I see it. It was terrible. We got Penske Racing shocked. You know, our boy Dustin's out here waving us on. He was a supporter as soon as we said we were
From
doing
the
it.
word go,
Yeah,
he was there.
That's how tight Dustin and Dustin are. So
Yeah.
apologies. I'm surprised he wasn't waving, but shout out to Penske. They gave us a shock to give away to our supporters. So thank you to everybody that's supporting us and subscribing and listening to us ramble. We're just a hillbilly and a
Just
redneck
regular
racing
people
and,
telling our stories, man.
Yeah, just trying to get more people involved. So
That's right.
thank you to everybody.
All right.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate everything.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Dustin, I didn't forget about you.
We were about to be in the dog house. Bad.
But that's good. You recovered.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
got
seen Dustin walking away, and I was like, oh, Penske on the back of the shirt. He was actually walking away to text everybody and be like, oh, now we're not dealing with any of these fools.
These rednecks and hillbillies, what are we going to do with them?
I did my best without my list.